Hello TTV, this is Kleiss. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about hack clients, what they're used for, what kind of hacks are on them, as well as some countermeasures against them. Although I will be discussing that in more detail later in probably another video, as still doing some research on that. And without further ado, there are three major hack clients. In my opinion, there's Impact, Worst, and Aristois. And of the three, probably Aristois is the most crafty with how it sends packets to the server. Packets is a computer networking term for information that's being sent from your computer to the server, and then the server processes that information and it gives feedback. So that's basically how these hack clients work. They are sending information, either false information, to the server, and the server is then taking that information and saying, yes, this player is on the XYZ axis, is on this point in the Y axis, and that's how he's flying. With regards to instances of like X-ray, for example, X-ray information is interesting because that's actual data that your server is sending to the computer regardless. You're sending that information to the player's computer saying, hey, there were diamonds here, and the computer processes that, and that's how the computer knows that there's a diamond there. X-ray then just, all it does is it reveals that data that the server is sending to the player that's normally hidden. So without further ado, let's look at Impact. All three of these have about pretty much the same mods. The only difference is their GUI interface, and GUI is just a computer term for kind of simplified UI or interface that players can see and click items. It makes it easier, more user-friendly for the non-experienced. CLI would be command prompt, and there's not a lot of that, but we'll touch that a little bit. So let's open up. This right here is Impact Client. You see I'm logged in as Kleiss on the Impact server, and one of the things here you can see there's the click GUI, and that's what it's going to look like. The GUI interface is showing all the mods right here that I can use, and X-ray is when you select items. You can put that back, or I can add granite if I wanted to be able to see granite on X-ray. But basically, it's just a way so you can have a clearer field of view. So let's hop into single player. Let's hop in the Bionicle world. So immediately you see some differences here. I have a little map, a radar. I generally don't have that on, but I'm just putting on most all the mods you'll probably see people use. A lot of these are also just just quality of gameplay. So the radar is one. Enhanced color of entities. The crosshair, you see my crosshair is purple. You can have that changing colors, name tags being more visible. A lot of actually nice stuff on here. Right here, I have auto cheat. It says vanilla, so that's going to be what's automatically put into Minecraft to prevent auto cheating. However, when I was on your server, it would say unknown or none. I don't know if you're using Spigot or something else or nothing, but it did. However, when I was flying around, after about say 5 to 7 seconds of flying, it would kick me off and say flying is prohibited. I don't know if you were seeing any of those notifications, but it didn't stop me at all. I just kicked it back on, and the best way to fly would just to be doing the burst then. Another thing it didn't check for is if I was using flight on the ground, it wouldn't get that, or on water. As long as my feet were touching the water, I could fly indefinitely. I was really only using flying just for mapping, but players may use it for other purposes. Also, you see Jesus mod is on, so I think regardless, yeah, I can still walk on water. Another mod I didn't use. Spider is going to be climbing up wall surfaces, just as if it were a ladder. You're going to have you can see entities right here. So this is going to be my entity ESP. I have it for both passive and for hostile. Although I think we're in creative right now, so it's not gonna show anything. but I also have chest DSP, so I can see all these chests in Takoro. Yeah, Takoro is a little messed up right now. I was practicing griefing on it. But what else? We have auto clicker. It's going to automatically click for a sword, and that's just going to be your auto clicking. Nothing too exciting about that, but if you take auto clicker and say you put that with kill aura. Oh, I didn't like that. But basically what it does is any entity within a certain distance of you, it'll immediately start attacking. And you don't even have to be facing the entity. It'll be, or player. I could be standing right here and it will be attacking from my side. Let me turn off my blink mode. I think I should set that to, there you go, left alt. Blink's interesting. So it doesn't, you can see this better and worse because it will place your character in a spot and it'll leave a breadcrumb trail to where you're going. But what blink does is, I just pressed it, you see it's running in seconds. That's how many seconds it's blinking. But what it's doing is it's sending data to the server saying, hey, I am lagging right now. And so the server is going to be just showing you right there. And you're going to be moving around, and other players will see you right there, and the moment you turn it off, it'll look like you've teleported. And you'll be behind them, or however you want to do that. What else we have? Auto eat, automatically eats when you're hungry. Doesn't seem like it's really beneficial, but in the instance of PvP, it's annoying to have someone who can pretty much constantly heal while using kill aura or using a bow aimbot. You have obviously anti-aims, can move your head around, make it harder for people to hit you. Disconnects under a certain health amount. That's actually very dangerous. If you disconnected a location, so there are more items on here, more hacks you can use, but if you disconnect a certain location, people will see that and they'll dump lava on it or something, and you'll spawn in some lava and it'll just kill you. But there are some of the hack mods will show people's logout distance right here. Is that it? No, but it'll show where people log out, so you can do nefarious things such as that, or new chunks. New chunks is going to be when that's a new chunk. I placed it there. You know, with new chunks, I'll be able to see when other people place new chunks. Obviously, this is X-ray right here. So let me pickaxe. Got a shovel. Alright, so let me introduce you to Baritone, because this is actually quite interesting. It's very new to the field of Minecraft, but it's AI. It's an AI that basically is able to process things and behave on its own and make calculations. So there are instances where you can, right here, you see the purple box, that basically saying I'm talking to the AI now. So when I press period, I'm talking to the AI, and I'll say mine sand. Yeah, and it's going to work right now. And he's mining sand. He's doing what he's doing. I can tell it to stop. Another instance where Baritone's more useful is go to 1,000. So it is now going 1,000 blocks in a direction, deciding the best, most efficient way of doing that. And it'll break objects, it'll drop objects, but it is still thinking. It's still new software, but you'll have things like okay, I could put on the bot mode auto mine, but I'll probably just be more specific and say mine diamond, or yeah, there we go. So right now he's searching for all the diamond. You can see it in green. He's found it. this speed, it's going at this speed because we're in creative mode. It's not this fast at all, but it sees, you know, where the blocks are, where to place blocks if it's a faster method. And you see it changed items because it knows that gravel and sand are gonna cause damage to the pickaxe, and it's more efficient to use the shovel instead. Now, I was doing some research on Baritone. There's a lot of interesting things you can mess with the settings, such as fill tunnel. So while it's mining, it'll be filling the tunnel behind it. So that, for someone who's hacking, would be very beneficial to covering your tracks. It also has some interesting features, such as auto building, where you can take Schematica, which is a software from Minecraft, where you can model something. Like, say you made a house and modeled a house in Schematica. Well, you can run the Schematica software in the background and press build, and it will build it at the location, or you can set to the location for it to build at. And as long as you have the materials, Baritone will start building it. And so that's kind of like a way of AFK mining. Building. And there's also legit mine, where it'll do normal mining. It'll mine, and it'll only collect items that are within its field of view. And that's just a way of AFK mining without, I guess, cheating for diamond or whatever ore you're trying to get. Another interesting feature is that people are working on right now is Baritone AI combat, which is actually kind of scary when you think about it, because they're working on bot swarms and fighting with that. And so you get the idea. There's tons of mods. A lot of them all are using the very similar packets, where it's the similar information that it's sending to the server. And so fortunately, you can use countermeasures against that to take out a number of mods at a single time. Next, we're going to discuss how impact clients are implemented into the game and how to download and install them, which is actually very easy these days. From what I heard, it used to be a lot harder, but simply it's just a matter of going to the website, downloading the client, which will be in a zip file. So you'd use WinRAR or 7-zip to open that, and then you'll get a folder that will say the name of the hack client version. So once you've downloaded and installed your hack client, you're going to press Windows R, and you type in %appdata %. That's going to bring up your app data for, I guess, on your PC. Alright, I'm going to be censoring some of this simply because my name is on it, and I'm not trying to dox myself, but you will be finding a folder here called .minecraft. Select it with your unzipped folder off to the side. Then you'd be going down to versions, and these are all the Minecraft versions. So all the ones that you see that are just numbers and blanks are going to be the Mojang official releases. And then you see Aristoi's here, Baritone, although I have Baritone inside Impact, and there's worse. And then this is Optifine is simply for using I have a pretty shaders pack. That's how I like to play vanilla, is with a whole bunch of graphics. And you would basically drop it in here, just drop it in the versions. And then let me go to, once you've loaded up Minecraft, you're not going to have this. It's going to be on whatever you have. You're going to go to installations, and you're going to create one. So you're going to go new. You're going to find, since it's in versions already, you're going to be able to see the release of the Impact client. You select that, name it, and then you click create. And that's it. I mean, once you've created it, it'll be right here. You click it, you can run play. I already have it running. And then boom. So very easy to install and use. So that's why it's such an issue with Minecraft servers. I haven't really been on a lot of them, but from what I've read, it's a big issue with X-Ray, with people using hack clients. So it's best not to have just a vanilla or a simplistic countermeasure against hack clients. What I have in my research, I found that there's some two big name contenders out there that are considered like the best anti-cheat software, and those would be Anti Gaming Chair, and Anti Gaming Chair is generally considered the best, and then there's Watchdog, and those two have kind of somewhat of a rivalry, which is a little bit entertaining. But I've been doing some research and been following Wither anti-cheat, which has actually kind of been a little interesting. Kind of the development of that. It's new. It's free. Which there's other two anti-cheat softwares that I mentioned. I believe they do cost, but Wither anti-cheat's actually very promising, simply because it's constantly updating. You have there we are. This guy Alexorus. He's the developer, and he has been adding this new release after release after release, and then you can put in, hey, these are the bypasses, like, hey, Aristois, latest version of Aristois, it's doing boat fly, which is boat fly is when you're in a boat, you're kind of flying in the boat, so the boat can fly while you're in it, and it's tricks some of the anti-cheat software into thinking you're just simply in a boat. But that's not a problem on 1.14.4 from my understanding. But this is the free software. What he has done is he will have, from what I've read, once again, I'll go into this a little bit more later, but it will immediately notify you and take count of all the offenses that players will make, and you can set kind of interesting, kind of entertaining penalties, such as like your hunger level is always at 1, or any kind of penalty on the player. But after a certain amount of violations, it will notify another, like say an administrator of the server, and it'll send all kind of notifications. It'll auto kick after a certain amount of time. Like say you have 5 violations of anti-cheat software. The reason why you'll want to keep it at a number like that, or 5 or 10, is simply because sometimes there's instances in where a player may be glitching around or having some lag and the server may misread it. Or for the instance of like Baritone, how you would combat the Baritone AI, you see how fast it was moving. Well, the anti-cheat is going to have a threshold of how fast you can move your head. And if you're moving at these ridiculous speeds that aren't quite human, it's going to kick you for that or give you a violation. And the reason why this software, he's decided, unlike anti-gaming, to not do auto banning is simply because there's instances in which it may be a false positive and you've just banned somebody from the server who's actually playing correctly. So what he suggests is having that send notifications to admins for investigation. And so with, this is into the field of cybersecurity. With security architecture, generally, like if there is an instance of like some smaller detailed things like speed hacks or something like that, but if there's an instance of someone breaking into, say, a network, or like who's actually breaking in and causing damage or intending to, that will immediately be an escalation to an actual user to investigate. But with small fish or virus emails or stuff like that, antivirus software will immediately just disregard it. So you can't just have an anti-cheat software and just leave it and not investigate, and not be proactive in getting rid of cheaters. So on your part, you will need to be, I would completely advise, checking for tunnels, like from time to time, checking for tunnels, checking inventories. You may not have to check inventories, but still keeping an eye out for signs of cheating. Particularly with this guy here on his Discord, because you can message him and he seems to be pretty proactive when this response is within a day. He generally he'll respond pretty quickly and implement changes to the Wither anti-cheat. So that's all I have for you today. If there's any other questions, feel free to message me at Discord. I want to thank you again for allowing me to be able to show you this stuff, as it's actually quite a delight to be able to kind of exercise kind of what I know, and to be able to help serve the community. So thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and I hope to talk with you shortly. All right, bye.